Imagine this. It's Friday afternoon. Your paycheck just hit your bank account. You smile for a second. Maybe you even got a raise this year. You stop by Costco on the way home. Fill the cart with the same groceries your family always buys. Nothing fancy. Eggs, chicken, bread, coffee, fruit, laundry detergent, dog food. At checkout, the total flashes across the screen. $287. You pause. Wait, wasn't this around $220 not that long ago? Then your phone buzzes. Your car insurance renewal just increased. Your electric bill is higher than last summer. Your rent or mortgage escrow went up. Even your favorite fast food combo somehow costs almost twice what you remember. You drive home asking yourself one simple question. Where is all my money going? Here's the scary part. It isn't disappearing because you're irresponsible. It isn't because you bought one too many coffees. And it isn't because you forgot to budget. There's another bill you're paying every single day. One you never agreed to. One that never shows up in your mailbox. One that quietly takes money from every paycheck before you even spend it. It's called inflation. And whether you realize it or not, your money is paying for it. Hey, everyone, I'm Della, and welcome back. Here, we simplify investing, budgeting, and personal finance so you can build real wealth without needing a finance degree. Because let's be honest, nobody teaches this stuff in school. Yet every adult in America is expected to master it. So if you want to make smarter money decisions and finally feel in control of your finances, you're in the right place. Now let's dive in. Inflation isn't just higher prices. Most people think inflation simply means things got more expensive. That's true. But it's only half the story. Inflation isn't actually changing the price tag. It's changing what your dollars are capable of buying. Think of every dollar in your wallet like a grocery shopping assistant. 5 years ago, $1 could bring home more food, more gas, more clothing, more entertainment. Today, that exact same dollar walks into the same store and comes back carrying less. The dollar didn't disappear. Its buying power did. That's the difference almost nobody talks about. Why it feels like you're running on a treadmill. Have you noticed something strange? Many Americans today earn more money than they did a few years ago. Yet they somehow feel more stressed, more anxious, and somehow more broke. How is that possible? Let's meet someone you'll probably recognize. Meet Sarah. Sarah lives outside Columbus, Ohio. She's a registered nurse. A few years ago she was earning around $68,000 a year. Today she earns almost $80,000. Objectively, that's good news. Friends congratulate her. Her parents tell her she's doing great. Even her employer says she's making more than ever. But Sarah doesn't feel richer. She feels like she's constantly trying to catch up. Her rent increased. Car insurance increased. Medical deductibles increased. Streaming services increased. Weekend dinners cost more. Airline tickets cost more. Even taking her dog to the vet costs noticeably more. Every raise she receives seems to disappear before she even notices it. Sound familiar? That's because many Americans aren't experiencing a spending problem. They're experiencing a purchasing power problem. And those are very different things. The invisible tax nobody votes on. Here's something interesting. When people hear the word tax, they think about April. Federal taxes. State taxes. Payroll taxes. Sales taxes. Property taxes. But inflation behaves like another kind of tax. Not because the government sends you a bill, but because every dollar you already own slowly buys less over time. Imagine filling a bathtub. Every paycheck adds more water. You're proud because the tub keeps filling. But there's a tiny drain at the bottom you barely notice. No matter how much water you pour in, some keeps leaking away. That's inflation. And because the leak is slow, most people don't notice it until years later. The biggest financial illusion in America. Here's something that surprises almost everyone. You check your savings account. The balance hasn't gone down. Maybe it even went up. Everything looks fine. So naturally you assume, my money is safe. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Safe from what? If prices rise faster than your savings grow, your account balance can still increase while your purchasing power quietly shrinks. That's one of the central ideas highlighted in your reference material. Imagine freezing today's paycheck inside a time capsule. You open it 10 years later, The number printed on the bills hasn't changed. $100 is still $100. But what it can actually buy? That's a completely different story. Your money may have stayed the same. The world around it didn't. And that's why simply saving money isn't always enough. Here's where most people make the wrong decision. When prices start climbing, most families react in predictable ways. They cut coupons, skip vacations, stop eating out, cancel subscriptions, buy cheaper brands. Those aren't bad habits. In fact, many of them are smart. But here's the problem. Those actions are defensive. They help slow the bleeding. They don't solve the underlying issue. Imagine trying to stay dry in a rainstorm by using a smaller umbrella. It helps. But the rain is still falling. To truly protect your finances, you need more than spending cuts. You need your money working as hard as you do. The good news. Now, before this sounds depressing, here's the part most headlines leave out. Inflation isn't unbeatable. In fact, some families actually build more wealth during inflationary periods. Not because they're lucky. Not because they're Wall Street experts. And definitely not because they can predict the economy. They simply understand one important principle. When the rules of money change, they change the way they manage money. Instead of letting inflation quietly make decisions for them, they adapt. And that's exactly what we're going to learn throughout this video. Because by the end, you'll know why inflation affects some families so much more than others. Which financial habits quietly make inflation worse? And most importantly, how to build a money system that fights back every single month instead of falling further behind. Because once you understand how inflation really works, you'll stop asking, why is everything so expensive? And start asking the question wealthy people ask instead, how do I make my money grow faster than prices? That single shift in thinking can change your financial future. Inflation doesn't hit everyone the same. Let's clear up one of the biggest myths about inflation. People often say, inflation affects everyone equally. Not even close. Think about two neighbors living on the same street. Mike earns $85,000 a year. Jessica earns $85,000 a year too. Same city. Same salary. Same grocery stores. Same gas stations. By all appearances, they're living identical financial lives. But fast forward 5 years. Mike feels like he's constantly falling behind. Jessica has a growing emergency fund, investments, and barely worries when prices rise. What happened? They weren't fighting inflation differently. They were managing their cash flow differently. And cash flow, not income, is what determines whether inflation controls your life. The cash flow trap. Most Americans think budgeting means tracking expenses. Rent, utilities, gas, food, entertainment, insurance. And while tracking spending is useful, it doesn't answer the most important question. Where does each dollar go the moment it arrives? That's where most budgets quietly fail. Picture your paycheck like water entering a bucket. If you don't direct where it flows immediately, life will. Bills, impulse purchases, weekend plans, Amazon orders, holiday sales, unexpected expenses. Before you know it, the bucket is empty. Not because you spent recklessly, because every dollar already had another destination. Inflation simply speeds up that process. Why raises rarely feel like raises? Here's something companies rarely talk about. Let's say you receive a 5% raise. Sounds exciting. You celebrate. Maybe you tell your spouse. Maybe you finally feel like you're getting ahead. But then, your rent renews. Auto insurance increases. Your grocery bill creeps higher. Your kids need new clothes. Your health insurance premium adjusts. Suddenly, that raise has already been spoken for. This is one reason many workers feel disappointed after getting a raise. Not because raises don't matter. Because inflation often reaches your wallet before your raise has a chance to improve your lifestyle. That's why your financial success can't depend only on earning more. It has to depend on keeping more of what you earn. The budget that breaks every year. Think about New Year's resolutions. Millions of Americans create detailed budgets in January. Everything looks perfect. Every dollar has a category. Everything balances beautifully. Then, real life shows up. A birthday. A wedding. A flat tire. School supplies. Christmas. Medical bills. Pet emergencies. Home repairs. Suddenly the budget failed. But the budget wasn't actually broken. It was too rigid. Here's what financially stable families understand. Life isn't predictable. So your budget shouldn't pretend it is. Instead of creating a perfect budget, create a flexible one. Every month should include a category simply called Life Happens. Because trust me, it always does. Stop budgeting once a month. Here's a habit that quietly separates organized households from stressed households. Most people look at their finances once every month, usually after the damage is already done. Successful budgeters do something much simpler. They check in once every week, not for an hour, not with spreadsheets, just 10 minutes. Every Sunday evening, coffee in hand, bank account open. Ask yourself 4 questions. Did I overspend anywhere? Do any bills arrive this week? Did I save what I planned to save? Is there anything unusual coming up? That's it. You're not judging yourself. You're making tiny corrections before small problems become expensive ones. Money works exactly like driving. Tiny steering adjustments keep you on the road. Waiting until you're in the ditch makes every correction much harder. Inflation loves financial chaos. Have you ever noticed something interesting? When life gets busy, money gets messy. You order takeout because you're exhausted. You forget a subscription renewed. You pay a late fee because you missed an email. You grab snacks at the gas station because you skipped grocery shopping. None of these decisions feel expensive, but together, they're exactly how inflation quietly compounds. Inflation doesn't just increase prices. It increases the cost of disorganization. That's why one of the best financial habits has nothing to do with investing. It's building simple systems. Automatic bill payments. Automatic savings. Automatic investing. Calendar reminders. Shared household budgets. The fewer financial decisions you make every day, the fewer expensive mistakes you'll make all year. The grocery store psychology game. Let's talk about somewhere every American visits. The grocery store. Stores know something fascinating about human behavior. When prices increase slowly, most shoppers barely notice. A loaf of bread costs 50 cents more. Coffee jumps another $1. Your favorite cereal box gets slightly smaller. A family-size bag of chips isn't quite as family-sized anymore. No single change feels dramatic, but together, your monthly grocery bill quietly climbs. Here's a simple habit. Before shopping, write your meals first, then build your grocery list around those meals. Not the other way around. It sounds incredibly basic, but it prevents one of the biggest budget killers. Buying food with no plan. Because food without a plan often becomes food in the trash. And throwing away groceries is like throwing away hours you spent earning that paycheck. The subscription creep nobody notices. Here's a challenge. Without looking, can you name every subscription coming out of your account? Streaming services, cloud storage, music, fitness apps, meal kits, gaming memberships, news subscriptions, premium software. Many households can't, because these payments become invisible. They're small. They're automatic. And they rarely demand attention. Inflation makes this even worse. Companies slowly increase monthly prices, counting on customers to ignore a $1 or $2 change. Individually, it seems insignificant. Collectively, it can cost hundreds of dollars every year. A simple habit? Once every 3 months. Open your bank statement. Highlight every recurring payment. Ask one question. If I didn't already own this, would I subscribe today? If the answer is no, cancel it. Your future self won't miss what your present self forgot existed. The money habit wealthy families teach their kids. One of the smartest money lessons isn't about stocks, or credit scores, or retirement. It's this. Every dollar needs a job before it's spent. Imagine your paycheck is a team of employees. If nobody gives them instructions, they wander. Some disappear. Some waste time. Some accomplish very little. But when every employee has a clear responsibility, the business thrives. Your money works exactly the same way. Some dollars pay today's bills. Some protect tomorrow. Some build future wealth. Some are meant for fun. There's nothing wrong with spending money on enjoyment. The problem starts when entertainment accidentally spends the money that was supposed to build your future. Purpose creates discipline, not restriction. The most powerful budget upgrade you'll ever make. Here's something that completely changes how you think about money. Stop asking, "Can I afford this?" Start asking, "What am I giving up if I buy this?" That's a completely different question. Because money is limited. Every purchase competes with another possibility. That new phone could also be several months of retirement contributions. A luxury weekend could also strengthen your emergency fund. An impulse purchase could also buy future freedom. This isn't about never enjoying life. It's about recognizing that every dollar makes a choice. The more intentional those choices become, the less power inflation has over your future. So far, we've uncovered something most people never realize. Inflation isn't just about rising prices. It's about how money quietly escapes through weak financial systems, automatic spending, and habits that no longer work in today's economy. But now comes the question everyone asks. If cash keeps losing buying power, where should your money actually go? Should you invest, pay off debt, buy real estate, keep more cash, or wait until the economy feels normal again? In the next part, we're going to answer those questions with a practical, step-by-step approach. We'll explore how different assets behave during inflation, which mistakes cost everyday Americans the most, and how to put your money to work without trying to predict the future. So, what's the solution? Now you know the problem. Inflation quietly reduces what your dollars can buy. The question is, how do you fight back? Not by guessing the economy. Not by watching financial news all day. And definitely not by trying to time the stock market. You fight inflation by building a money system that works in any economy. Here are the 5 moves that matter most. 1. Stop letting cash sit idle. Cash is important, but only for the money you'll actually need soon. Think of your emergency fund, upcoming bills, vacation money. Everything else? It shouldn't spend years sitting in a low-paying account losing purchasing power. The reference script stresses comparing what your cash earns against inflation, rather than assuming all savings accounts are equal. Money without a purpose should have a job. 2. Invest consistently, not emotionally. Here's where many people go wrong. The market falls. They stop investing. The market rises. Now they finally buy. That's backwards. Successful investors don't wait for the perfect time. They invest consistently. Month after month. Year after year. Because time in the market has historically mattered far more than trying to perfectly time the market. 3. Make inflation your employee. Think about this. If prices keep rising, wouldn't you want to own the companies raising those prices? That's exactly what investing allows. Businesses adapt. They innovate. Many increase prices over time. As a shareholder, you benefit when strong businesses continue growing. Instead of watching inflation happen, you own part of the economy that's adjusting to it. 4. Eliminate high-interest debt first. Not all debt is equal. A fixed-rate mortgage with a low rate is very different from a credit card charging 20% or more. The reference highlights that fixed-rate debt and floating-rate debt behave very differently during inflation. If you're carrying high-interest credit card debt, that's your emergency. Pay it off aggressively. Every dollar of interest you avoid is a guaranteed return. Very few investments can promise that. 5. Automate everything. Here's the simplest wealth-building hack. Don't rely on motivation. Rely on automation. The day your paycheck arrives, your savings move automatically. Your investments happen automatically. Your bills get paid automatically. You remove emotion from the process. Because wealth isn't built by making hundreds of perfect decisions. It's built by creating a system that makes good decisions for you. The 24-hour rule. Before buying anything expensive, wait 24 hours. Ask yourself, do I need it? Will I still want it tomorrow? Is this helping my future, or just today's emotions? You'll be surprised how many purchases disappear after one night's sleep. Your new money formula. From today, remember this simple formula. Earn more. Spend intentionally. Invest consistently. Avoid high-interest debt. Repeat for years. It isn't flashy, but it's how ordinary Americans quietly build extraordinary wealth. Inflation isn't going away overnight, but it doesn't have to control your future. I'll show you the complete inflation-proof money blueprint, the exact monthly system that helps you budget smarter, invest confidently, and build long-term financial security regardless of what the economy does next. Your inflation-proof money blueprint. By now, one thing should be clear. You can't control inflation, but you can control how prepared you are for it. Here's your simple monthly game plan. Step 1. Pay yourself first. The day your paycheck arrives. Save or invest first. Spend what's left, not the other way around. Step 2. Keep an emergency fund. Aim for 3 to 6 months of essential expenses in an easily accessible account. That gives you breathing room when life throws surprises your way. Step 3. Invest for the long term. Don't let fear keep your money on the sidelines. Invest consistently. Ignore daily market noise. Let time and compounding do the heavy lifting. Step 4. Review your budget monthly. Every month, ask yourself, what cost more? What can I cut? Where can I save more? Am I closer to my financial goals? Small adjustments today prevent big financial problems tomorrow. Remember this. Inflation doesn't make people poor overnight. It slowly rewards people who have a plan. And punishes those who don't. So don't focus on predicting the next inflation report. Focus on building habits that work in any economy. Because financial freedom isn't about earning the biggest paycheck. It's about keeping more of what you earn. Making your money grow. And giving every dollar a purpose. If you take just 3 actions after this video. Invest consistently. Eliminate high-interest debt. Review your money every month. You'll already be ahead of millions of Americans who simply hope inflation gets better. Hope isn't a financial strategy. A system is. So start building yours today. Because the best time to prepare for tomorrow is while you still have today's paycheck. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. I'm Della, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay smart, stay invested, and take control of your money.